So I'm really psyched about Super Mario Odyssey, and since I need to post my first video anyway, today I will be discussing with you my thoughts, opinions, and theories regarding the game. First off, this game will be called Odyssey, and I believe the title is inspired by The Odyssey, written by Homer, which you have probably read in high school. If you hadn't, or simply need a refresher, the story is about an adventurer named Odysseus who gets whisked away from home and has to overcome obstacles and travel far and wide to return home and reconquer his kingdom and save his wife. The concept of many Mario games, including this one, is to save Mario's beloved Princess Peach and save the Mushroom Kingdom. Pretty obvious similarity. Another worthy thing to mention out of the reveal trailer is that Mario's hat has eyes. It is actually a character in the game. It freaked me out a little bit, to be honest, but after seeing the trailer a few times, I got over it. I'm also certain that these living hats are the main gimmick of the game. While Bowser's top hat isn't seen with eyes, it does seem to have similar properties to Mario's. There is also a group of rabbits wearing hats, and in the city level we see some enemies wearing top hats. There is also a store seen in two different worlds called Crazy Caps, and you know from past Mario games that Toads have a tendency to capitalize on whatever crisis there may be by selling adventure-specific items to Mario. Mario's ship is also shaped like a top hat. So the gimmick of Odyssey will definitely be related to hats. It seems weird, but knowing Nintendo, I'm sure things will play out. Tying into the hat gimmick, I also believe Mario's hat character will die or have a presumed death. This may be a bit early to predict something so drastic, but we've seen Mario's friends make a sacrifice to save the day so many times it's practically a cliché. Flood was destroyed after the fight on Corona Mountain in Sunshine. The White Luma sacrificed himself to the Black Hole in Galaxy, and while Color Splash wasn't exactly the typical 3D game, Huey also sacrificed himself to destroy the black paint. Granted, all of these characters found their way out. Flood was repaired, and Luma was found to be lost but alive, and at the end of Color Splash we see Huey resealed under the Prisma Fountain. So why do I think that this hat has a similar fate in store for him? In the trailer we see Bowser stomping on Mario's hat. At the time it kind of seems meaningless, since Mario's hat being a character isn't revealed until the end. But now that you do know it's a character, think back. Being stomped under a metal boot like that could have easily done some damage. Also, I don't think Nintendo would have included it in the trailer if it didn't have significance. So that's one part of the plot, but what about the rest? While we don't know much, we do know that Bowser is forcing Peach into marriage and Mario has to stop the wedding. This may seem stereotypical because it's the plot we hear as Mario fans over and over again, but it is actually something new. We've seen this plot in the media, in the Japanese movie, to the American cartoons, to the comics. We've actually seen Bowser's numerous attempts to marry Princess Peach, but in the games it never happened. The closest we ever got to such a plot was when Count Black temporarily wed the Koopa and the princess in order to call forth the Chaos Heart. Granted, they probably got divorced in the end, but they were married nonetheless. We still hadn't seen Bowser himself try to marry the princess. It's good that the games are starting to recognize the main story. Also, Bowser looks fantastic in that suit of his. In terms of the rest of the sandbox-style game, it will still hold the traditional 3D Mario style. In the boss fight with one of the top hat-wearing rabbits, we see that the fight takes place on a circular platform. Many of the 3D games have fights like these. In Mario 64 in Sunshine, we see final boss fights on circular platforms. And more than plenty of Galaxy's fights had circular platforms as well. In 3D World, the circus battles also took place on these platforms. We can rest assured that while a lot is changing, there will be a lot we can remember too. The reason this game is called Odyssey instead of Galaxy 3 is because the game will probably be a world adventure on Mario's home planet. Basically, think of Mario and Sonic Unleashed, but without the planet splitting apart. While one scene looks like Mario could be in space on a ship, he is actually at about the height of an airplane. The planet we see is just the moon, and he is very close to Earth. We also see a globe, which is probably the mode for switching between worlds. On that note, also on the ship is a red Mario flag. Knowing most Mario games, this is probably a checkpoint. I couldn't believe GameXplain didn't pick up on that in their analysis. Anyway, Mario World Adventure, here we come. On terms of similarities between Odyssey and Sonic the Hedgehog games, I don't think Nintendo intentionally used their content. If they did, there was probably some sort of deal with Sega. After all, Sega has borrowed content from Nintendo before, like back in 2013 for Sonic Lost World. Many people pointed out Mario had a spin dash in this game, but he's actually had this mechanic since, at the earliest, 3D Land in 2011, and returned in 3D World in 2013. Not that they had a very big role, considering the Tanuki and cat suits served the same purposes as the rolling move. Without those suits, the rolling move might have been more necessary, especially in Odyssey. In short, the spin dash isn't new at all. I guess we do see the similarities between Station Square from Sonic Adventure and New Donk City in Odyssey, from the humans to the looks. But like I said, there is probably an agreement. I also think Odyssey may have a deeper storyline. We seem to be seeing many tidbits of cutscenes, from the weddings, to the rise of that desert temple and Mario's approach to it, to the robotic creature knocking Mario off a skyscraper, to Mario fighting a windstorm. We might be in for more cutscenes than Sunshine and Galaxy had. Nintendo probably took some of the comments from fans and pages like Game Theory to heart, and decided that they needed a grittier Mario in order to compete with other franchises. Of course, I'm sure this will still be the type of Mario story we know and love. Mario has honestly lost a lot of his story, since the RPG games seem to be eradicating original characters and locations, and replacing them with generic ones. This change in Odyssey is probably just what Mario needs to appeal to gamers in the modern market. For my last irrelevant comment, what happened to Peach's crown? Why does she have a completely unmatching tiara? I doubt it's an official design change, and this tiara could be one of those living hats we were talking about earlier. We'll see soon enough. And by soon, I mean in a year. Why does it have to be so far away? Anyway, with all this said, I think you could tell I'm more than psyched for Super Mario Odyssey. Of course, the conversation doesn't have to end here. Please continue in the comments and have yourselves a blast. Thank you for watching my video, and this is the Jelly Jar signing off.